I went down an insane rabbit hole today. By the way, hi.
Good morning.
I was reading all up about pandas.
Oh, okay. Tell us. This was
Oh my God.
Wait, was this when you couldn't sleep this morning?
Yeah, when it was about 5 a.m. this morning. And I saw a video and I was like, damn, are pandas nice? Like, because there was this cute video of like them like hanging on the legs of the zookeeper or whoever, I don't call them zookeepers, but whatever the person is inside their like habitat.
Isn't it?
They said that they are like, they're, if anything, they're docile. They're very solitary creatures. They like to like even be alone. They don't even want to with each other. That's what I'm talking about. They even said,
"Am I a panda?"
Because when they kind of trail off from like the other bears, some like millions of years ago, they have the same stomach as a lion to be a carnivore, but they only eat bamboo, and bamboo is so low in nutrients for them. They have to eat 22 to 40 pounds of bamboo to just get full, for one thing, but also the proper nutrients that they need. But then of course they like little baby bamboo shoots were even less nutritious value to it. But yeah, they're not sure. I think they said that the reason why they went to bamboo is because of just the availability and no competition. I feel like they're just like lazy. They're like, yeah, we could eat that, or we could just do the easy thing and just eat the bamboo.
Yeah, bamboo doesn't run when you try and go grab it. So that
my
makes sense.
favorite part is that because of in their like little like habitats that they live in, they become so uninterested in mating to the point where they don't even know how. Like they had, I think it was called Sing Sing and Ling Ling at this one in China. And the guy like literally did not know how to mate with a girl. He was trying to like bone her ear. And then her
apparently I've a lot of pandas in my day because my God, I'm like, welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dana Cathan.
Unapologetically.
We're here to do what we want to do.
Spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
disrespectfully.
None of them know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're like literally, he just like couldn't. And he's like, but then we showed them pictures of pandas banging in the wild, and then they had twice. So they like porn, apparently.
Wow.
Pandas love porn.
Full of surprises.
They're just like us.
They're just like us. Ethically sourced.
But so cute. Their vision is like not great. They can only see stuff up close. I relate to pandas. They're just kind of like, they like to like roll around, kind of like to me at home.
They seem like a low energy, and like, you know, eating their bamboo. Sometimes they fall out of a tree. They seem like they're fine.
Yeah.
They're just hanging out.
Because the reason why they're like so like clumsy is because their bellies are big and their legs are short.
So cute.
They're so cute. Anyways, I love pandas. I need to go. If I am ever in China, I'm gonna go to one of their like nature reserves. Pandas
I would love to see one.
They're the mascot of the, you know, what do you call it? World Wildlife Foundation or something.
I was gonna say UNICEF, which has nothing to do with that, but yeah, they are. You're right.
WWF, World Wildlife. Anyway, so that's what I did this morning.
Well, what a great way to start the day.
It was great.
Are you feeling hungover at all?
No, I'm just like tired from waking up too early. I did go back to sleep for an hour, so. But I'm looking forward to my pre-nap or pre-party nap. That's going to be more of a sleep. It's going to be a Dana style nap.
I'm having a Dana style nap the second we are done with this. I was just telling Katie, so I have been drinking significantly less since dry January, and I'm really happy about it. Like, things are going well. But then when I am drinking, I'm experiencing a hangover right now, and it is so ugly just remembering this feeling. There's like legitimately nothing that's worth this, but it was Floor's birthday last night, and then tonight is her big party. So I will be leaving here, washing my face, getting back in bed, and then reemerging 3 hours later as if it is a new day. And hopefully I'll feel different. We'll see.
Yeah, that's sort of the trajectory I'm on. Just because I want to last. Going to dinner at 5:45 last night felt like such a feat.
Yeah, so we went to dinner early because it was a big group, and sometimes it happens that way. They're like, hey, would you like to eat at 4 p.m. or midnight? Which one sounds good to you? And I'm like, what? Because I have more than 3 friends? Like, that is so annoying. But it ended up being a really beautiful long dinner, but long. We left at what?
9? A little after 9?
Yeah. So it was.
And we got there at 5:45.
Yeah, it was a time, but I'm going to pull through. And honestly, Floor has been waiting for this moment for so long. So we need to show up and be in a good mood. That's what I know.
Oh, yeah. No, I need to be ready and throw down, like clap cheeks, throw up, shake it.
There's going to be so many. There's going to be so many fun activities there.
There's going to be so many fun activities. I've been really looking forward to this. I have my balloon gals there right now setting up. It was a big like trust me on this because like I just wanted to take one thing off her plate because like she also has 1,200 people staying with her right now, and it's just like and she wants to go on a hike. I'm like, well, just enjoy your day. Like, get your makeup done. Go on a hike. Chill out.
Go on a hike if you want to enjoy your day or you want to ruin your day. That's so crazy that she would.
Well, you know, she
Not like
enjoys
us.
it.
That's not us.
I'm built different.
Yeah.
With shin splints.
We're more panda built.
Yeah. I want to roll around.
I've never seen a panda on a fucking hike. That's what I know.
No fucking way. They can climb though, but like, I think it's like, that's pretty much what it's like they do one thing. They climb a tree, day is done. I go to the grocery store, day is done.
Yeah. People who keep going after that, that's crazy. I'm like, today drained me.
Yeah.
I need to tell you something.
What's
A
up?
couple things.
What?
So we discussed this, but the she-devilfish was apparently having tummy problems. So apparently everyone, I get it. We want to romanticize it. We want to feel something that she was going up to see the sun. So allegedly, scientists are saying there's multiple reasons for why that probably happened. One of which is my personal favorite because hot girls have tummy problems.
Correct.
But she ate something that expanded rapidly in her body and it shot her to the surface. And I was like, is there a Taco Bell down there deep down that we don't know about? Like, what are you eating?
Cheesy bean and rice burrito.
Couple. I've been there. I've almost shot to the surface too.
A cheesy gordita crunch with a Doritos Locos taco shell. That will send. I get the burn after that.
Oh yeah. I got Taco Bell the other day for no reason at like 2. It was like a 2 o'clock on a Tuesday. No, it was random. And it was a sad one. Like, you know how sometimes it's like hit or miss and it wasn't great. And then Raleigh was like, yeah, Taco Bell during the day is so depressing. And I was like, well, sometimes I really enjoy it. But
No, listen, there are better Taco Bells than others.
oh yeah.
Did you go to the good one?
Well, I had it shipped to me, so I don't know where it came from.
Well, you know, you can tell where it comes. You get shipped to. Anyway, what else do you want to talk about?
Well, I have 2 more things that are depressing, but slightly upbeat. But I do want to talk about it here because obviously we had Wes on the last episode. You tell me, because someone sent this in about the DC plane crash. They knew people personally on it and they wrote a nice note. So I thought we should read it.
Okay.
So Carolina wrote in to the disrespectfullypod at gmail.com, which is where you can send your hometown heroes and your WWDDs about the DC plane crash. And we wanted to share it. I know this is late, but I'm currently listening to episode 81 and you guys talking about the DC crash. I am a figure skating coach and wanted to take a moment to honor the skaters, parents, and coaches who lost their lives. They were not coming back from a competition. They were traveling back from the National Development Camp for Skaters, handpicked by our federation as the future of figure skating. The camp is the goal for skaters at those levels. To be recognized by our federation at such a young age is indescribable. Each skater's remaining family has said how ecstatic they were to be back to their home clubs and to tell their young skater friends about the experience and show off their coveted red jacket. Many of us throughout the skating community have been watching some of these skaters for years and just waiting for the day that they are old enough to compete internationally. In total, we lost about 28 members of our community. Most families lost a child and a parent, mostly mothers. A whole family was killed. At 23 years old, a current senior men's national medalist, Maxim Nemov, lost both of his parents who were champions in the 90s. This crash has completely shaken the international figure skating community. Just under a month later, we are still coping, trying to honor those that we lost and try to find joy in the sport we all love. Rest in peace, everyone on American Airlines Flight 5342. Our government fails us daily, and I'm sorry you lost your lives because of it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so obviously awful, but I'm glad that they made a correction on the story that we told about it, and that I don't know. I just thought that was a really beautiful
Makes it more sad.
No, it's devastating, but I think that it's wonderful that, you know, they heard and wanted to write in.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you for sending that in. It's just, so
Yeah.
sad. The other horrible thing that I'll be brief about, but I didn't want to stick it in the basement with Wes because I wanted to keep that more upbeat. I just watched the Gabby Petito.
I watched that as well. I was like half watching it.
For that being such a high profile case, there was a lot about it that I didn't know. It's called American Murder, Gabby Petito on Netflix. Watch it if you haven't. Brian Laundrie, basement. Brian
His
Laundrie's parents. I was actually, my blood was boiling as I'm watching this. I cannot prove it, but allegedly he called them the day after he killed her and they were on the phone for an hour and they immediately sought out a lawyer and paid for a retainer. So how they are not in jail for accessory after the fact is really surprising to me. They're bad people. And I don't want them to ever be confused about that.
So, yeah, I was appalled looking at the body cam footage of like the officer going to their house twice, at least what we saw, and asking them to give any kind of information. And they just straight up wouldn't. They were answering Gabby's parents' phone calls. They just straight up weren't giving it because obviously, again, that is An accessory.
And I think that the officers were really easy on them. And I understand they're like, hey, there's a lawyer. But as a police officer, you can't necessarily, I think, arrest or like if they're not being detained, like but the fact that the officers could not make him come outside for even a minute, that's one of the things I didn't know. So after she goes missing, he drives the van back to his parents and comes to the parents and just says that they broke up and separated. The fact that the police showed up and my jaw dropped when they were like, oh, Brian's here.
Yeah.
What? But I am glad they found the van and towed it. But what a horrible person. And the body cam footage of the way that the police were interacting with her when the domestic violence thing happened. The whole thing is just very upsetting. But yeah, those parents, basement.
I agree.
So far, this has been devastating.
Okay,
should we kick this thing up a notch?
Kick it up a notch.
So sorry if you're all sad. Let's turn those frowns upside down.
That's like what you do. It's like your specialty. You're like, hey, I have something I want to tell you. It's like the most depressing thing.
It's going to ruin your fucking life. Let's do some hometown heroes, though.
Let's do it.
Jillian says, hey, ladies, I've been a fan since birth, if you will. I grew up watching Vanderpump Rules with my mom and was always obsessed with the drama. Anywho, I have a horrible first date story that I think you guys... Oh, wait, this is so funny. Anywho, I have a horrible first date story that I think you guys will find quite funny. So let me paint the picture here. I matched with this guy on Hinge. He's relatively cute and is a fellow artist like myself. So I thought, perfect, we'll have a lot in common. Fast forward to a few days of chatting, he invites me to a drawing class later the same day. He says that he goes to this drawing class twice a week and how amazing it is. Usually I'm not much of an impulse date kind of gal, but I figured I'm single and sad and have nothing to lose. So off I go to meet this artsy guy. However, almost immediately, him and I have no chemistry whatsoever. It's awkward and not the usual first date kind of awkward. We're sat together on the floor of this art studio waiting for the class to start. Yes, there were no chairs, only thin ass pillows to sit on. When I picture you in this situation, the way that this would you would just leave and be like, I'm not sitting on
I don't want to be inconvenienced ever in my life.
I'm not going to sit on the fucking floor with you. I'm sorry that you like art. And also he happens to drop it on me in the first 15 minutes of our date that he was a raging alcoholic who in the past got kicked out of several high schools and almost went to jail because of his behavior when drinking. Oh, also on top of that, he did not specify what subject we would be drawing in class. Now in hindsight, I probably should have asked specifically what type of drawing class it would be, but I figured it would be something cool since he goes to this thing twice a week. The instructor comes out finally after 30 minutes of awkward chatting with my date. However, he doesn't walk out alone. In fact, he is stood up with a lady in a robe and says, hey guys, this is Amy and she'll be our model this evening. Instantly, I realize that this is in fact a new drawing class and I have to draw a random lady's vag and biddies for 2 whole hours in absolute dead silence in a room with 10 strangers. Oh, and did I mention that they turned up the heater in the studio to about 1,000,000 degrees so I was sweating my literal ass off? On top of that, I'm an acrylic artist who specializes in very funky painting, not nude bodies. So not only were my drawings horrible, but at the end of class, everyone had to go up and show their best drawing of the evening. Spoiler alert, none of mine were good. To say that I was given pity compliments is an understatement. By the end of it, I was left with a microscopic piece of dignity, no second date, thank God, and a sketchbook filled with a random lady's vag and biddies who I saw on Tinder a week later. We did not match. I hope you liked my silly single story and that I gave you a giggle or two. Love you both so much. Can you imagine?
No.
Anything worse?
The thing is, it's like even somebody who's like, you know, in the community is an artist is like to not even be down with that. It says a lot. And also this guy just being like, yeah, I'm also a raging alcoholic. I'd be like, where's the bathroom?
No, when he immediately sits down and like tells her all these horrible things about himself, I'm like, also, sometimes, you know, when you go on a date and you just know that it, like, I so get what she's saying about, like, there isn't chemistry, it can't be helped. And then you have to sit in this scenario. And I think one of the worst parts is her being so hot. You just have swamp ass when you're drawing this, because obviously they want to keep the nude model comfortable. So I understand that, but uncomfortable for you. And that made me laugh so much. I don't know.
I would say, like, titties look better when it's a little cold out.
Yeah, I like a little, sometimes you gotta turn the lights on, you know? Give a little... Take your beef pluckers gently, apply them to the nipple and just boop,
twist. Anyway.
So, underwear drawers.
Oh yeah, the mosh pit of wardrobes.
I'd say so.
You would say there's no rhyme or reason to them. Anything goes. It's just everything just gets kind of shoved in there.
Mm-hmm. It's chaos. It's chaos. Absolutely. They say the body keeps the score, but you know what else does? My underwear drawer. And it's dark. It's not looking good.
And don't even get me started on the period undies. I feel a chill of my spine just at the thought. But this is where MeUndies comes in. Now that I've experienced the buttery, soft comfort that they provide, all the old pairs just, they're going.
You take them out to pasture.
Yeah, exactly.
It's time. MeUndies is all I reach for. And honestly, I don't feel like myself unless I'm wearing them. Plus, from all black classics to fun, expressive prints, MeUndies has a look for everyone. And best part, they come in sizes XS to 4XL, guaranteeing a flattering cut for every body.
MeUndies isn't just about underwear. Explore the lounge collection featuring comfy joggers, hoodies, onesies, and more. And their Move Me activewear is the softest activewear on the market.
MeUndies' signature fabric is as soft as a warm hug from your favorite sweater. It's breathable, stretchy, and oh so comfy, making it ideal for all-day wear. They use sustainably sourced materials and work with partners that care for their workers. And if you're not happy with your first pair of undies, it's on MeUndies.
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 MeUndies. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping on orders of $75 or more at MeUndies.com/disrespectfully. Enter promo code disrespectfully. That's MeUndies.com/disrespectfully. Code disrespectfully for 20% off. MeUndies. It's comfort from the outside in. When it comes to grocery shopping, I've got this problem.
Where you just don't do it?
I hate it.
You hate it.
Crazy parking lots, people slamming their carts into me when they don't respect the rules of the aisle, because those are a real thing. It's terrible, but that's all changed now thanks to Hungry Root. It's the easiest way to eat healthy.
Hungry Root is like having your own personal shopper, which like Lux. They take care of the weekly grocery shopping, recommending healthy groceries tailored to your tastes, nutrition preferences, and health goals. They make it easy to eat high-quality, nutritious food and achieve any diet or health goals from anti-inflammatory to gut-friendly, gluten-free, or dairy-free, high-protein, and more.
They make grocery shopping simple and stress-free. Just tell them about your goals and preferences, and they fill your cart for you with personalized recommendations, and they get smarter as they learn more about what you liked or didn't love. Hungry Root has great options for the whole family with healthy groceries like smoothies, kid snacks, sweets, ready-to-eat meals, salad kits, and even supplements.
There's no high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, or preservatives in any of Hungry Root's food. They only source top quality meat and seafood free of hormones and antibiotics. I personally love the lemon pepper chicken and the cilantro lime rice. It's delish.
Yum. You're going to love Hungry Root just as much as we do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/disrespectfully and use code disrespectfully. That's hungryroot.com/disrespectfully, code disrespectfully to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/disrespectfully, code disrespectfully. This next one is from Brittany. It's spelled that way, so I'm saying it that way. Brittany. She says, "Hello, Katie and Dana. I like this story because it's also informative.
Oh, okay. Great.
And about stuff that we care about." Okay.
Wonderful.
Second time storyteller for Hometown Heroes. I wrote about having outdoor sex at Sasquatch Nest in Seattle. Katie, I hope you had an epic time on the emo cruise this year. I wasn't able to go this year, but hopefully next year. Dana, I too participated in Dry January and was successful. Congratulations to you for being successful as well. I also thought it was easier than I initially thought, but I learned to better manage my alcohol consumption, and I'm thinking of going dry for a month again this year, just to give me that reset/cleanse I noticed when I was alcohol free in January.
Hell yeah. And congratulations to you. That's awesome.
Look at you. Okay, now to my story. A little while ago, y'all were talking about the importance of finding the right sheets, blankets, comforters, and pillows for the best sleep of your life. Katie spoke of a cloud-like comforter. You have no fucking idea. This
Are you still? You're past the honeymoon stage. Are you still in love?
It's changed my life.
You getting married? You keeping it?
Keep it. Dana mentioned her hunt for the perfect pillow. I have a hometown hero story for you all to enjoy that relates to that theme. Let's call the story Swedish Sausage and the Temperature-Controlled Bed. Is this a Disney movie? Just kidding.
I was like, I think I saw that Dr. Seuss book once.
Mm-hmm. During COVID, summer 2020, hooking up from the apps was tricky since people were scared of getting the vid, me included. A good friend of mine provided me with a dick referral to a guy named Dan. She promised I'd have a great time with him. She gave me his number and we started texting, and that led to sexting, which led to us making arrangements to meet up. We met up at the Ballard Locks. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Seattle reference maybe Dana would know of. Chit-chatted while taking in the views of the boats and the waterways. You know, making sure neither of us were serial killers and making sure our vibes meshed just as well as in person as they did over text. Once we both agreed we were safe around each other, we quickly went back to his apartment to get down to business. As my friend promised, he had a very good dick. Not girth master status, but definitely worthy to make him part of my starting lineup of friends with benefits. I nicknamed him Swedish Sausage because he's Swedish and has a marvelous dick. I know, very creative. I like it. One of the times we were hanging out, we were enjoying ourselves, making out on his couch, drinking beers, and taking hits off his marijuana vape pen. As things started to progress, me taking his 7-inch Swedish sausage into my mouth and throat. Girl, it's too early. It's literally like 10 a.m. He gets up and leads me to his bedroom. Now, this isn't anything new, but what was new was his temperature-controlled bed pad he recently purchased. The brand is 8 Sleep, so spelled out entirely. And it uses this water tube-filled pad with a water reservoir near the end of the bed to circulate the water through the pad to either heat or cool the entire surface of the pad. He had a queen-size bed, so it covered the entire surface. When things were getting hot and sweaty, the padding beneath us was pleasantly cool and relieving. Here's the link. What a queen for giving us a link. Link to 8 Sleep website if you're curious about it. It's basically just 8sleep.com. The cooling function definitely came in handy during the summer sessions. Also, it was magic to sleep on. You could program the pad to start out at your desired temperature and then fluctuate through the night. It was heaven. I normally sleep on my side or stomach, but I slept on my back and didn't feel uncomfortable. Some of the best sleeps of my life happened with that pad on his bed. Although it could have been from the many nights of ravenous sex. We're both Scorpios and holy fuck, it was some of the best sex I've ever had.
Ugh, good for you.
Either way, I highly recommend checking out 8 Sleep if anyone has issues with sleeping and temperature. That's into my story. Love you all, you beautiful girlies, and shout out the disrespectfully Coven. XOXO Brittany. What?
You love an informative bed moment. I like that it fluctuates, but what has been happening with me lately in bed, which is all chaos, is I obviously sleep with a very cold apartment by design, and I literally wake up having like night sweats. Like I'm so hot and it is so cold in my apartment, and I'm honestly wondering, because it's so cold, if my body is overcorrecting and like
Probably.
heating me up, and so I wake up and I'm just like dripping in
Yeah,
sweat.
I would say that was probably be it.
Okay, maybe that's part of it, but maybe I need this little pad thing. Also, is there anything better, especially in the summertime, especially if you don't have central air, getting in like, and like sheets are cold, like on a nice cold pad?
Yeah. Well, I started sleeping on top of the cloud, and it's like it holds. I feel like I'm just being held,
Like a little baby.
like every limb, every inch of me is just like.
I'm confused though, because what's on top of you then?
A duvet.
Okay, so not naked. Wow, you're sandwiched in there.
I'm enveloped in the most luxurious, cozy way imaginable. Like I just like lay there. I'm like I don't. It's like that's the only danger of having like a bed that's too comfortable. Is like getting out of it sucks.
Right.
Anyway.
I got a lot of, I need to compile a list and I'll let you know what I decide to purchase, but I did get a lot of recommendations from people who sent pillows, which is very nice of them. One of the more popular ones was the purple pillow. I haven't purchased it yet because it is expensive. I mean, you use it every day, so I'm happy to invest in a pillow, but I was reading on Reddit and they were like, it's not for stomach sleepers. And I am a big stomach sleeper, but I also rotisserie chicken. So I'm like, I could be anything at any moment. We just don't know. So I could be doing a headstand if I thought that it was going to lead to sleep for me. But I'm going to purchase some pillows. Okay. I'll let y'all know.
The amount of pillows I've bought over my life, it's insane. And I'll be obsessed with it for a while. And then I'm like, I don't like you.
Over it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for your little Swedish sausage. Also, that made me, you know those?
Hungry?
Yes. Swedish meatballs are so good. I used to make a really good turkey one. And maybe I'll just make those this weekend. Sounds fucking delicious. Anyway, I'm starving. Allie says, hi, Dana and Katie. Regular listener, repeat writer here. I sent in a WWDD like a year ago. Y'all had some really great advice, and I'm hoping I can actually grow a pair and follow it sooner or later. Any hoodly who. In college, I developed a funny habit I do when I was drunk. It all started at this bar called Monkey Pants that gave free shots away on the hour to ladies who showed the bartenders their tatas. Me being a free spirit and also broke, I took advantage. I know, this would never stand nowadays, but mind you, this was 2011 at Arizona State.
You know, I kind of miss those days.
Oh.
I miss it. I miss the freaks.
Oh yeah.
The violence and the sex.
The innocence of all of that. Also, Arizona State, ASU, notorious party school. It's like rivals the school at Wazoo I went to. So I know the exact energy. I also had this exact type of bar that I was.
Do you show your tits to the bartender?
No, but not to get anything free, but I probably did just to feel something. Yeah.
Got it.
As I started getting drunker, I headed to the little girl's room to pee and try and get myself together. I sat on the toilet to relieve my bladder, and I guess I must have gotten comfortable because I proceeded to fall asleep in the sitting position with my head leaning against the side of the stall. After 30 minutes, my friends started to wonder where I was and came to find me. Their yelling woke me up from my drunk snooze, and they still won't let me live it down to this day. I wish I could say I only did it once, but it became a regular occurrence when I'd get too drunk. A couple years later, I slept through the Wu-Tang concert at a grimy amphitheater bathroom. I'm happy to report it has never happened in a porta potty, and it's been a few years since I've done it, but I hope it made you giggle. Love this podcast and you both so much. Allie.
Have you ever fallen asleep in a public bathroom?
I haven't fallen asleep in my bed. So, of course, obviously, as we were just discussing, no, have you?
Yeah, I got really ill at a bathroom and there was like karaoke, and I was like just trying to like get myself together after I literally left everything of mine in the toilet. And
so this was a drunk thing.
Oh,
okay, you were wasted.
Yeah, and
okay.
I sat down and I was kind of like this with my head in my hand, just like crouched down and no snooze.
Took a little nap.
Yeah, but then someone that worked there like realized and they kicked me out. Well, like I'm just literally a baby.
I'm just a girl. I need to get a little nap in. Well, I picked this because twofold, the like innocence and horror of that time of like, yeah, you can just show your tits and get some free shots is really funny to me. But also your friends waited 30 minutes to come find you. I'm sure they were also drunk, but I clocked that because I noticed if someone's missing for 3.5 minutes and then I call the police. So we are different. But yeah, I'm glad also you haven't done that in a porta potty, which I have such a jackass based phobia of porta potties.
Yeah. Because
it's likely not going to happen in my lifetime, but getting tipped over in a fucking porta potty.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of anything worse?
No.
I would rather pee in the grass. Like I have a phobia. I do not like and I'm also claustrophobic. I just don't like the whole experience. I don't think anyone does, but I particularly have an adverse reaction. And I'm like, imagine it being.
I just hate having to use porta potties, and that is sometimes the only option.
No, let me go in a field. I would rather.
Oh, there was a man. I was at the reservoir yesterday. He just peed on the side of the road. Like there's people walking by on the sidewalk, and he had his little dog. He opened up the back hatch of his car, but then just peed onto the side of the road. I was like, sir, this is a
that's a crime.
Busy area. Like there was also a school or something, like a playground nearby. I'm like, you're gonna be on a list, my guy.
Wait, I was at the reservoir yesterday. What time were you there?
Early, like probably 9.
Yeah, you go earlier than me. I was probably there at like 10:30 or so.
Yeah, it was alarming. Anyway.
Well, I'm sorry you had to see that. And I hope none of the kids did.
No, but I was just like, this man is just literally, he was a little older, but like still.
It doesn't make it any less illegal. But anyway, well, don't fall asleep in toilets, you guys.
Yeah, don't do it. Okay. This next one, so funny. Okay. Jessie says, hello, my favorite ladies. I regret to inform you I have a poop story, but I think you'll giggle.
We haven't talked about poo in probably 3 episodes, and people are probably wanting to check our pulse. So.
This one made me laugh really hard. Okay, a couple years ago, I was going about my evening when I had a sudden onset, excruciating abdominal pain that sent me right to the bathroom.
Oh.
I'm fucking blessed I was at home when this episode happened. I sat on the toilet and had a poo that quite literally felt like a dragon was spitting fire out my asshole. The pain was getting increasingly worse to the point that I began to sweat profusely. I had to rip my clothes off. I'm screaming to the point that my roommate ran into the bathroom to find me naked and thrashing around on the toilet as if I was giving birth or something. When the fire burning hole in my stomach took a pause, I was able to get up. I looked in the toilet and I see is bright red. I thought it was blood. I basically looked like a murder scene. So naturally, I'm freaking out and assuming this is my last day on earth. Are you me? I like every time I have this like an ailment or something like that, I'm just like, and I'm dying.
You know, you breathe and you have a sharp pain. You're like, oh, this is it.
Yeah. I immediately called the nurse triage at the emergency room and asked what the fuck I should do and what was happening to me. The first thing she said was, have you eaten anything red today? I was thinking back and I forgot I'd hit the bong 3 too many times earlier the day and demolished a family-sized bag of flaming hot Cheetos.
Oh my God.
I humbly, dude, that is insane. I humbly reply to the nurse, yeah, I had a few hot Cheetos earlier. Sorry for wasting your time. Needless to say, I haven't had a hot Cheeto since, which is such a shame as it's one of my favorite food groups. Anyway, just a warning to anyone who decides to consume an embarrassing amount of hot Cheetos in one sitting, you may find Satan birthing out your asshole. Kate, love you guys. Bye. Jesse.
Dude, I'm so hungry. The fact that this story didn't even deter me. I'm like, I want flaming hot Cheetos now in addition to my Swedish meatballs.
Have you watched that movie, Flamin' Hot? Did I talk to you about it?
You told me about it.
I've seen it twice.
Wow, I haven't watched it yet. Okay, the way, you know, you do like bicycle crunches and some, you know, when it's so bad that you take your clothes off and you're basically like bicycle on the fucking toilet. This poor girl, it's so horrible.
Yeah, that sounds awful. I can't believe your roommate came in too. That must have been fun.
Yeah, you were screaming. And also that would be so scary to see. So thank God you realized it.
My favorite part is naked and thrashing around on the toilet.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's so funny. Those ones where you literally sweat. Why is it that instinctually you're like, you know what would help this situation if I was naked? If I was butt naked right now.
Clothes cannot be a part of this.
They can't contain me. They can't contain this pain.
That's like our primal instinct.
Yeah, that is so wild. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad it's been too long. Thanks for refreshing.
I love a hot Cheeto.
We love a hot Cheeto poo story.
I like the lime hot Cheetos.
Is there a non-lime flavor?
Yes, there's regular.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the lime is my preferred method.
There's like extra hot flaming ones too. Like that's insane.
Oh, the lime. Yeah, that's so tangy and delicious. Okay, so one of them days, one of the things they did is they made flaming hot Cheetos martinis. So they crushed up and used it as the rim, flaming hot Cheetos, which I'm like, that is so iconic. I'm definitely going to do that on like a michelada, but they just poured vodka warm into the glass. So it was like vodka soup with, yeah, I mean, it's a movie, but I'm like, how are you not shaking it and like having essence of Cheeto in the martini? So I would like to do that in a more normal person way.
Authentic way.
Yeah, make it like a nice cool bevy.
I hate when movies do that. You're like, you know, just clearly none of you have ever had a martini and it's showing.
Yeah, you want a warm, just straight warm vodka. Like, yuck. Nicole says, hello, Katie and Dana. I'm a new listener to the pod, and I guess this is where I admit I had no idea who either of you were until Katie started dating Nick. I don't watch TV, seriously. I know that is weird, but I just lost interest in it. So I've never seen Vanderpump Rules, but I'm a big Sirens fan and was so happy to see Nick so happy again. In any case, anyone Nick loves is good with me, so here I am. Thank you for joining us. Also, Nick, thanks for the listener.
Yeah.
Really, we appreciate that. So
he listens too, so.
I know, which is so him and Flora, I like know that they're always going to hear this. Actually, you know what? Raleigh, formerly my biggest fan, I put her on the daddy list a few weeks ago and usually she's very busy, but usually she does listen. And I didn't tell her because I was like, oh, she's going to like say something. She never did. So this is also a test. I'm going to see if she mentions this conversation. I don't think she's listening anymore.
Okay.
Trouble in Paradise. Anyway, I used to live in Okinawa, military spouse, and absolutely loved it. And, oh my God, this story. Miss it all the time. Gate 2 Street and the Banana Show are local legends. Ask any military person ever stationed there, as in back in the 70s at least, and they will have stories. Gate 2 Street is right outside the military base, full of bars, shenanigans, and bad decisions. The Banana Show is a bad decision. I had heard about it and finally went with a couple of friends, another girl and a guy. All of us married there, not with our spouses. The girls were safe. Our poor guy friend, though, not so much. So, the Banana Show. It's been going on for a few years with supposedly the original woman passing it along to her daughter. Question mark, question mark. First, one would be very drunk before attending. It was our first stop of the night, so the memory is very clear. That was a big mistake. The whole premise of the show is the woman could cut a banana with her vaginal muscles. Seriously, we saw it. She shoved a banana up there and somehow pushed it back out in chunks. Next party trick, coins. Up they went, a stack of them, and they came out controlled one at a time. The horrible part? She came over to our table and asked a male friend if it was one of our husbands. When we said no, she tried to get him to eat the banana. The post-show banana, he was not so happy we didn't claim him. Whoops. He refused, thank goodness. Apparently the Marines are the ones she can usually convince to eat the banana. It was an experience I wasn't quite drunk enough for. However, win in Okinawa. I hope you enjoyed that and that you both, like us, are wondering how one discovers a talent in the first place. I included a Reddit link about the show, so happy reading. P.S. Just Google Banana Show and well, there's lots of info. Lots of love to you both, Nicole.
Is there only one Banana Show?
We just don't know. But the second I heard that, I was like, I wonder if this is going to be like a donkey show. Turns out it is. So yeah, both disturbing and riveting. Would you go?
No.
I don't
I've been
think
to, like-
I need to go to that.
I've been to the box, which is like a similar vibe of like, okay, people just sticking things up their holes, but I'm good on it. Like I don't want the like shock value of like in my entertainment. I want to just, I'd rather watch really bad karaoke.
Yeah, I consider myself to be an out there person, and
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want that, and I also don't want someone trying to get someone else to eat it because it's from a stranger. It's if it's your partner's vagine, then sure.
I would never be like, hey, want to eat this now? Like, no thanks.
Yeah, it's so scary to me. So anyway, I hope that your guys' mouths drop because mine certainly did. So thanks, Nicole, for shocking me, which is hard to do.
Not in chunks.
All right, well, this
Also
next one is a
coin.
totally different vibe. So
Okay.
this will be a nice palate cleanser. Mary says, hi, Katie and Dana. Obviously love the pod and listen every week. I've written it before, but I still feel like it's appropriate to tell you guys just how much I love you both. Your podcast and your influence on women is extremely important. Anywho, I've been meaning to write in for a long time as ghost stories have become popular and a higher demand on the pod. I grew up in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where Laszlo's from. Again, in the
Oh,
Appalachian Mountains. Appalachia.
Which has, as I'm sure you know, a lot of history, and with history can come spooky things. I cannot fit all my ghost stories into one submission, as you asked for them to be short. It's fine. You can just write multiple. That's all good. I lived in 3 haunted houses, so I'm going to stick with one from my childhood home. For context, my dad built a beautiful home on the Potomac River, not too far from DC, and it's said to be where John Wilkes Booth was caught. Yikes. Even though it was a new build, the vibes were always off. You could hear things at night, particularly footsteps, and the fire alarms were always chirping despite the batteries being changed.
Wait, I'm going to sound really dumb right now. Is that who shot Lincoln?
Yes.
Okay, thank God. Okay, keep going.
The upstairs was particularly creepy, and it took me until almost middle school to be able to sleep in my room upstairs alone. My dad was a single dad, and like most men, was awful about picking up furniture, so my room and the guest room upstairs were pretty empty. He decided one day to take me to a vintage shop to pick out furniture, a side table, chair, lamp, desk, and a mirror. One day in middle school, I had a couple girls over for a weekend. My room was attached to a Jack and Jill bathroom and a guest room. 2 girls stayed in the guest room, and me and my other friends stayed in my room. The girls staying in the guest room started screaming so loud, almost to tears, and came running into my room to tell me they saw a woman in an older peach dress and dark hair standing in the bathroom. I didn't think anything of it and thought they were messing with me because one of them was never very nice to me.
I hate that we all just had to be friends with our ops growing up.
True.
Why
Yeah.
were we all forced to be friends with the ops?
I don't know. 2 years later, I start high school. I drifted apart from those 2 other girls and became friends with a new girl who moved from another state. She and another one of my friends from another school had a girls' weekend at my dad's house. The new girl slept by herself in the guest room because she was staying up late on the phone. The next morning, she asked me if I got up in the middle of the night because she felt like she saw me. I told her I never got up, and she went pale. She said she was going in and out of sleep and said she saw a woman in a peach gown with dark hair staring at her from the bathroom. This ghost is one that I kept encountering up until my dad's house was sold after he passed away in late 2016. And to this day, I have dreams about the upstairs of the house that make me feel uneasy. This submission is already so long, I'm going to stop here, but please let me know if you want me to submit more. We only scratched the surface of what I've seen. ...
Oh yeah, we want for
I want it
everyone.
all.
We want all of your paranormal.
That is
stories.
freaky.
You know what is always the worst or the best, depending on who you ask. But when the through line of any paranormal experience story, it's multiple people seeing the same entity
in the
with
same space.
Same space. Yeah, I have a quick kind of hometown of my own that's a happy paranormal-ish experience. My sister is in Hawaii right now with her friend. They're both single moms. Her friend Danny's husband passed away a year ago. So they were sitting with her baby, and I think she's about 1.5 years old. So she was really young, like maybe 6 months when her dad passed away. She sent me a video that my literal jaw dropped. The baby was standing there and she goes, "Daddy, Dada," and started laughing and clapping. And there she was like, "Where's Daddy?" And she goes, "Hold me, Dad," like was saying like, "Hold me, Daddy," and like pointing. And it was so clear that like, and babies are intuitive in that way, but particularly I think when there's a family member, but it was so clearly the baby was seeing
Oh my
her
God.
dad there with them in Hawaii, which I thought was like so sweet and what a wonderful.
In Hawaii?
Yeah,
So
they're
not-
on, they're on
Oh,
vacation.
I didn't know when this particular story took place.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
this is just a few days ago. They're in
Wow.
Hawaii with their kids, right now doing a little single mom's trip, which is really sweet. But
Mhm.
yeah, can you imagine the baby just saying, "Hi, Dada"?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, love that so much. I'm
Babies
so glad he
are freaks.
Yeah, that baby's creepy. Let's be honest. No, I'm just kidding. But
No,
it's like,
adorable, but also like the way kids like, oh yeah, I remember the plane crash and I remember burning, and you're like, excuse me? They're like, yeah, my name is John. You're like, what? No, your name is
your name is Kyle. Shut up.
your name is Sarah.
Zip it, kid. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I just thought that was really
Kids
sweet.
are freaks.
Keep sending paranormal stuff always, you guys. Anyway, let's WWDD. Have you ever heard of Cure?
Cure, is that like what is in the substance?
No, not quite. If Demi Moore had used Cure, it would have never gone down that way.
Well, Cure is the cleanest way to hydrate. With clean ingredients and zero added sugar, Cure gives you pure hydration without any of the junk. And it's only 25 calories per serving with no added sugars or artificial sweeteners, just clean, natural hydration that keeps you feeling energized without the crash.
And doctor approved and safe for the whole family,
Mm.
from adults to kids ages 1 and up. Plus, the flavors hit just right. Not
Mhm.
too sweet, not too artificial, just yummy, yummy hydration. We're talking berry pomegranate, strawberry kiwi, lemonade, watermelon, tropical punch, blood orange, and lime. Water just tastes better that way.
Cure is the perfect way to start your day. Whether you need a morning boost, electrolytes for your workout, or something to keep you going during the day, Cure fits into any routine. Plus, science shows that staying hydrated often requires more than water alone. It's the key to feeling your best, and Cure makes it easier than ever.
Cure is an oral rehydration solution, ORS, that follows the formula developed by the World Health Organization, which was proven to hydrate as effectively as an IV drip made with high quality ingredients like coconut water powder and pink Himalayan salt. Cure is rigorously tested to ensure we meet quality standards.
Hydration goes beyond just drinking water. It's about replenishing the electrolytes we lose through sweat, sleep, alcohol, and daily activities. Water alone isn't enough to do the job. That's why you need to try Cure, the electrolyte drink mix that tastes as amazing as it makes you feel.
For Disrespectfully listeners, Cure is offering 20% off your first order. Stay hydrated and feel your best by visiting curehydration.com/disrespectfully and using promo code disrespectfully at checkout. That's curehydration.com/disrespectfully and use code disrespectfully for 20% off your first order. If you haven't heard of Built, you're about to thank me. Earning points on rent is now a reality when you pay your rent through Built. You don't even have to check with your landlord to start earning points that you can use toward flights, hotel stays, fitness classes, and even your next rent payment. Let us break it down for you.
There is no cost to join Built, and as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and on your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world that you can redeem your Built points toward.
Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is like, why not?
Yeah, start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/disrespectfully. That's joinbilt.com/disrespectfully. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/disrespectfully to start earning points on your rent payments today.
Bree says, hello, Katie and Dana. It goes without saying that I followed you both for years and love how confident you both are. I find myself at 33 in a bit of a life crisis, and to be completely honest and raw, feeling like a total loser, the way Dana says it like Jim Carrey. My long-term boyfriend of almost 10 years broke up with me a few days ago.
Wow.
Thought I would grow old with this man, but it took one stupid fight after doing really well to not let bullshit get between us to end things. I'm pretty devastated, and I'm not in a good place financially to be completely independent, and roommates are just a no. I've had them in the past. It's never ended well. So I'm going back to live with my mom 400 miles away from where I currently live. I'm not sure what to do. I guess I just need reassurance and to try to be okay with where my life is at. I'm definitely going to decenter men in my life and focus on myself. So I guess my question is for you, Katie. How do you go from someone who's a big part of your life, someone who you think will always be there, to putting that boundary up and not interacting with them in the same way you normally would? Side note for context, I'm still living here until the end of February due to leaving a job and giving notice. So this is all still really new. Thanks for letting me vent
Oh.
free.
Well, I'm really sorry. That's like, it's not easy.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I mean, it's like you kind of just have to go at your own pace with this. I mean, it is so weird to sort of untangle your life from a person who you shared so much with and thought you'd always share everything with. I mean, 10 years is a long time, and you invest a lot of yourself and your emotional self into that relationship. So to just have it just be done is very jarring. So I think you just need to like give yourself a little bit of time to grieve. I think, yeah, doing like decentering men and totally turning your focus fully on yourself is the best and only thing you can do. I think sometimes when you like have memories pop up, you know, you want to just sort of distract yourself, feel what it is, but start to understand like what those are. They're just memories. There's going to be good ones. There's going to be bad ones. Obviously, I know holidays can be really difficult initially, but like every day it gets easier. And then you have days that are bad, but like every day you're moving towards healing yourself. So I think, yeah, welcome everything that comes to you.
Totally. Retweet everything that Katie just said, but also you're not a loser at all. So please don't be hard on you. Need to be kind to yourself during this time. And also the fact, like, I can tell how fresh it is. So I am sorry because it's so painful. Any amount of time you spend with someone, but particularly a decade, and you have this whole plan and then that plan changes.
Mm-hmm.
I think since you're still living together through the end of the month, like it is what it is, do your best to start setting up that distance, but distance will come naturally once you move away and you don't have to see them. I recommend this in all scenarios with any romantic relationship. You have to give yourself time to undo them from your brain. It's literally a chemical thing, neural pathways that are created when you're in a relationship with someone. So you have to give it time for that to die. And like once you move away, I would definitely recommend taking space to heal. And like you won't be able to keep them in your life. And so interacting them with them in a normal way, I wouldn't interact with them for a while.
Not for a while. I mean, I think it's okay to recognize that like this person was a significant part of your life and also like who you are. I mean, everything you experience is sort of like woven into like your own fabric, and that's okay. Like I think, you know, even down to this day, like I still, because I have so many memories and experienced so much with Tom, to never bring that up or never talk about it would be denying a whole section of my life.
Yeah.
And it's okay that he's a part of it, and it's okay that it didn't work out, and it's okay to like talk about it. I think it's just, I don't know. I'm still learning like new things too throughout all this. I'm like, wow, like this is okay, and that's not okay, and like I'm doing fine. You're gonna do just fine.
Yeah,
it just takes a while. I'm like, what, 3 years out from it? It's crazy.
Also, you're 33. You were basically just born. So I also, in the sense that like there's, you know, you can go Google it, but it's, you know, it's like Vera Wang started her line when she was like 50 something. Like all these people, like we all put pressure on ourselves, or excuse me, the patriarchy does that. And it's ingrained in us that if you don't, your life doesn't look like this at this age, then you've somehow failed. You haven't. 33, you see this as an opportunity to start the next chapter. Like, what do you want? You get to design that now. And even though it's going to come through pain, you will come out on the other side of it, and you're going to write into us in 6 months and tell us about how great you're doing.
Yeah.
And I look forward to hearing that.
That became a really exciting thing of being able just to kind of design what I wanted my life to look like moving forward.
Looking pretty good for you right now. I'm excited for you too.
Hell yeah, brother. Okay. Hope that helps.
Hope that helps.
All right. Anonymous says, first off, huge fan of the podcast. You two bring laughter to my life. I'll try to keep this short. Ever since I went into menopause after breast cancer, my marriage and sex life has suffered. At times, we've gone months without sex. Very often, I've asked to go on dates, spend time together, or get a sitter so we can reconnect on an emotional level. We haven't had time away without our kid in over a year. When I try to make plans, he offers to stay home with our kid and let me go. Part of the issue with our relationship is his alcohol use. He's either sloppy or a snarky asshole when he drinks. We can't afford couples therapy, but after a year of nagging, he finally agreed to go to therapy himself to address PTSD. However, he's told me that he hasn't bought into it and doesn't think it helps. I'm now at the point where I just feel defeated. It's hard feeling like I'm trying to save our marriage by myself. I know he loves me and he's loyal, but I'm sick of having to throw a tantrum to get him to understand how important it is for us to connect. Any advice is appreciated. I mean, been there. It is so defeating. It is so difficult to feel like you are putting in the effort. You are fighting for the marriage. You're doing everything that you can do. But I mean, that's what it takes for you to get to this point of being like, there's nothing else I can do. And if you're not going to step up or even see the value in this or make any sort of effort to connect with me, I don't want to tell someone like leave him. But I mean, like I think you're beginning to figure out what you should do.
Yeah. I think that sometimes when we have to, like, we feel like we're not being heard, so we have to just scream about it, whether that's in actuality or metaphorically.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, you have to realize that it's just not going to change. And like, you can be begging someone to give you something that someone else will gladly be doing, you know?
Mhm.
So it's like either stay in that same pattern or realize what is what. I don't think this is for a lack of effort on your part. You know, for
No.
where you're at, you've obviously tried. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like he has the same priorities when it comes to your relationship.
Especially if like he doesn't want to spend time. Like you're trying to make plans for the two of you and rather him be excited and on the same page with you, he's like, you go ahead. Like it is crushing. And so I want you to just recognize that you've done pretty much everything you can and just to like maybe consider what life would look like alone or the potential of somebody else. I just think that those ideas should be entertained a little bit.
I've had a relationship like that where I've had to like scream to get my views be seen, my needs be met, and it was just over and over and over. And then finally I was like, I would literally rather be alone. And like, it feels more lonely and more painful to be in something when you're begging someone to give you what you know you deserve.
Yeah.
It's just like not it. Also, red flag for me if someone is like they don't buy into therapy. I think those are the people that usually need it the most, that are like, I don't buy this. And I'm like, well,
I just don't think it does anything. It's not magic. It's not it's you get out of it what you put into it. So clearly he's making no effort in therapy the same way he's not making any effort at home.
Yeah.
From what it seems.
Yeah. Anywho, we love you.
Mm-hmm.
Brandy says, this is a very heavy topic and possibly triggering for Dana because of her estrangement with her dad, so I understand if this doesn't get read. Dear Katie and Dana, my dad died on Valentine's Day. We didn't really have a relationship. He was verbally abusive, mostly to my mom, had a short temper, would throw tantrums, and growing up, my siblings and I always had to walk on eggshells to avoid making him upset. He would drink a lot and often talk about how he never wanted kids, which I now know made me seek attention from validation from undeserving men in my late teens and early 20s. That in turn gave me a lot of self-loathing, and it took a long time for me to love myself. Completely understand pretty much everything you just said.
Mm-hmm.
As I grew older, we didn't really talk much aside from very surface things. We never had deep conversation or heart-to-hearts. Emotions and feelings weren't something I could safely express around him. He never really met my friends or my boyfriends. I've always struggled with the thought of, would I want to invite him to my wedding, or would I really be upset when he's gone? Turns out, yes. I'm struggling so much because I'll be totally fine and then I'll start breaking down. I know I'm experiencing grief, but I feel like I'm gaslighting myself. Once I moved out, I would only text him on birthdays or the holidays, and I made excuses not to go to immediate families, Thanksgivings, or Christmases to avoid him. A big part of me feels like I shouldn't be allowed to feel sad. If he was as awful as I described, what are these tears and this grief for? If I didn't think he would be at my wedding, why does the fact that now I know he won't be hurt so much? I know you aren't therapists and this is above your pay grade. Who are you calling not a therapist? I'm just kidding. I love you both so much. You help make me the woman who chooses herself first and never holds on to what doesn't serve her anymore. Thank you both.
Wow.
Brandy.
So much of that I relate to.
Yeah. I mean, the entire thing. And I've had a lot of those same thoughts and feelings. And I think when you have someone in your life that you have to keep at a distance, or like for me, I'm not able to have in my life at all, you kind of grieve in slow motion, and you think that it shouldn't hurt so much once you lose them. I obviously haven't lost my dad, but like I just relate to these feelings around it. And I think you really need to give space to, like you said, you're grieving. It's okay to grieve. You don't have to be extremely close with someone to grieve them, especially when it's a parent. I think a lot of what you grieve is like
Memories.
little girls just want their daddies to love them. And when that is not happening for you, and when you're like, you look back on how you describe him, you're like, why am I feeling sad? Because it's your dad. And if you had it your way, just like if I had it my way in an alternate universe, I would have a close relationship with him. I would have a relationship with him. So like, I think you're grieving what the 8-year-old version of you was always looking for and always wanted, you know, like your inner child that just still feels wounded by this person. And I'm so sad for you and heartbroken that you're now facing in addition to grief, these complicated feelings around a complicated relationship. So I think you just need to be kind with yourself and understand that what you're feeling is completely valid.
Yeah, I mean, I completely relate to you saying that. Kind of like, am I allowed to be sad? And like, because I feel the same way. Because growing up, my dad was like the fucking best. Like, he was so fun and cool, and everyone like loved my dad. And like, he still was like that person, but he changed a lot after I left home. And obviously, when him and my mom separated, and like, there's just a lot of things I knew that I didn't love, and it just became difficult. Like, I felt like my dad just didn't know how to connect with me anymore, and when I wasn't living under the same roof. And it was sad because obviously you want to have good relationship with your parents, with both of them. It means something to you. And then when they're gone, you're like, wow, like you feel it is such a mixed bag of things, because you obviously feel sad and you feel, that part of you is like gone. For me, I grieve a lot of like the memories of like that we shared growing up, and and then there would be like little pains of guilt of like, should I have tried harder? Did I do it? But like the thing is that it became like really difficult to talk to somebody who just only wanted to talk about surface stuff. It's hard. But I think everything you're feeling is because obviously you're not the only one that feels that way. I'm not the only one that feels that way. So don't beat yourself up, like Dana said.
I haven't spoken to my dad in 2 years, but there were multiple periods over the last 12 years since my mom died that we didn't speak. So it would be like 4 years here, whatever.
Mhm.
Here's what I know. If I could have him in my life, if I thought there was any chance for that, I would. Who would not want, especially if you don't have your other parent, like you would if you could, but it just doesn't work for me and a lot of other people. So I understand why you needed to have an arm length relationship with him.
Mhm.
So it doesn't at all negate the fact that you're grieving a parent. So just be kind to you. And I love you.
Mm-hmm. Amelia says, hi, Katie and Dana. Obsessed with you both. Especially love listening to Disrespectfully when I'm feeling down about the state of the world and gender dynamics, which is often. So I'm grateful that your pod is twice a week. Anywho, I would love your advice on a situation that I know is all too common. This is so frustrating. Last night, I was coming home from an interstate work trip. It was late and I was looking forward to getting home to my sweet, grumpy boy, Graham's cat. And the Uber situation at Melbourne Airport is a pain in the ass. Plus, it's easier to get reimbursed for taxis through work. So I walked straight up to the taxi rank and got the first one available. The male driver proceeded to spend the 30-minute trip asking me personal question after personal question, like, who do I live with? Am I single? Do I have children? Why don't I have children? What am I doing on the weekend? Would I date a man of his ethnicity, etc.? He told me he was single and looking for a girlfriend and kept accidentally missing the turnoff despite me pointing out the fastest route several times, so the trip ended up taking a lot longer than it needed to. I was so uncomfortable, but I'm a painful people pleaser and had already been answering the questions honestly for a while before I realized I could just lie. Been there. But I'm also terrible at making things up on the spot. I tried to spot his ID badge to make note of it just in case, but wasn't displayed. Shade.
That's terrifying.
I got him to stop a few houses down from mine, thinking I don't really want this man to know where I live, but he waited and watched me walk into my house before driving off. By the time I got inside, I felt gross, vulnerable, I live alone, and annoyed that I literally paid money to feel uncomfortable. This isn't the first time this has happened, and I know it won't be the last. While I usually take Ubers, which offer slightly more accountability, I've had the same experience in Ubers before, so I think some men just don't give a fuck. That's right. So my question is, what would Disrespectfully do in this situation where you want to get out of it safely, but also want to avoid feeling exposed and yuck? Love, Millie from Melbourne, Australia. This is like
every woman alive has had this experience multiple times.
It is one of those situations where you truly don't know what to. I don't know. I think when people have somebody else on the other end of the phone, so they know that it ain't just the two of you in the car. Somebody else has a location, those fake things where it's like, yeah, I shared my trip with you so you can track me. I'll be home soon. Be on the phone with the person, that kind of thing. So they know that like someone's aware of like they're in, where they're going, and can literally call authorities if need be in a moment's notice.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just the female rage of, I think it's really situational, unfortunately. And I think your goal in any scenario, you do just have to feel it out of like, what is the safest thing? Like you're in a vulnerable spot, you're in the car. So I feel like sometimes it's like one time I had a guy that I truly think out of all the Ubers in my life that have made me nervous that I, by the skin of my teeth, walked away unharmed. But he was being really aggressive and doing this, asking me a bunch of questions. Oh, your boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. And I tried to disengage with him. And he was like, this isn't Uber. People talk. That's what you do. And I was like, it was clear that I needed to play by his rules. So I think that you just, unfortunately, I can't tell you a blanket statement about what to do. I think the goal is always to feel them out and get yourself to a safe location as much you can. And also, text a friend and be like, call me immediately. I'm uncomfortable in this car, so they can hear you saying like, I'm talking to this person. And the fact that he didn't have his ID is so telling to me. And I'm just sorry that you were even put in that situation to be thinking about it.
It's so gross. And unfortunately, like, it's such a bummer that we have to have these like plans getting into these cars when these fucking creeps just can't change their behavior.
Yeah.
Like someone's got to teach them a lesson.
Yeah. They sure do. And I hope they get it.
Hope this helps.
I hope this helps. Sorry that so many men out there are creeps.
But yeah, if you have more hometown hero stories, which can be bad date stories, poop stories, ghost stories, anything paranormal.
A ghost poop story. We just don't know.
You know, if you have a great story, just send it in.
Just send it to us. Don't hesitate. If you have a question, let us know. We'll armchair expert that shit.
Exactly.
Disrespectfullypod@gmail.com.
That's the one. And also, if you want some merch, get a hoodie, get a beanie, get a shirt. Also at disrespectfullypod.com.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women, like disrespectfully.